We are on Treehern. Years ago I did this one, and I've just done this one. Nice front entrance. That's a 12-foot gate, and up the bank and along, and I did two properties at once. And boy, these properties are tricky because they're on a steep slope between two roads that drops off down the back. And this one was particularly troublesome because the drop off was angled down to the other road and from left to right. And this was all bush and stumps. I managed to get a fence down there. You can see it ends way off by that gable of the next house across the road. And then comes up here, a nice double rail, a foot apart at the top as requested, and a 4-foot gate, and a nice latch. I always say that. And then a front gate, 2 double-8s on this one. And I've never found a latch for these double gates. I wish I could. I have one in Australia called a bow latch, but you can't get them here. I've even tried to order them from Australia, but to no avail. Yeah, and then this one I also did a few years ago, even before the one on the other side. And then it comes down, and the one I did this time joins into it. And I used to use a 6-foot deer rabbit wire, but I don't use that anymore. I use a 6'6" wire, so that post is a little higher. And then down behind the woodshed, and there's a great big boulder in there. Had to dig out. And access is always tricky with these ones. And I left the gate open because I hadn't done the gates at the top, so I didn't want the deer to get trapped in the corner and stressed. Not very nice for them. And then along the back, that was interesting. Steep drop off, risky work with the machine. And it's always risky working on a slope like this, especially when you have to move sideways across it. And then up the side. So here we are. Here's that gable I pointed out from the top. And we go straight up here. Look how straight that fence is. And then part way up there's the cross fence across the neighboring property that I showed you the gate of first. There it is, across the back to that other one that I did years ago, and with a 4-foot gate right here. Yep, also nice and straight. And then this was the challenge. This was the challenge. This was sloping down 35 degrees from right to the left, and that road wasn't there. I actually had to put that in to build the fence, and then smooth it out the best I could afterwards. But this was, all trees and bush and elderberries, and I didn't know how I was going to do it when I started. And again, with a machine, it's always risky on a side slope, but I did it. Yeah, and there it is, back to the front. I'm happy. I had to charge a bit extra for this side bit up here, and I left myself a clause in the contract for that, but I'd rather it was more straightforward. But it's really impossible to quote on that, completely without building in a huge contingency. Anyway, there we go.